Hi everyone, this is Elisha and welcome to another gig vlog. Right now I'm in Brunei for another project and it is raining. Hopefully you guys can hear what I'm saying. I'm in my old studio now and I'm here for rehearsals with the Elisha Tiga Experiment, which is a collective that I'm leading. And as time of this recording, we have a project in Singapore that's happening the end of this month of September. Now it's the 5th and maybe or maybe not, the vlog for that project is already up on my channel. You can check it out here if it's up, but if it's not up, it means I'm pointing to the wardrobe behind me. So I've been tasked to music direct and also work on a lot of the technical stuff for a show that's happening next week as of recording this video. And it is a music festival in Kota Kinabalu. So for this vlog, you'll be seeing me going through the processes of being hired as a music director and also sort of like an arranger and prepping all the sessions, because we're running backing tracks and we're running click tracks. So a lot of technical stuff that needs to be done besides the musicality of things. The artist in question is Phoebe Sen, a Sabahan-based singer-songwriter, and I am currently working on the set. So at this stage, I'm practically 80% done with the arrangements and how Phoebe wants the set to flow and sound like. Did a lot of changes and everything and decided to break things down and make them a bit more simple. So we don't really have that much time. It's easier to over-deliver and then just cut down things rather than playing it safe and then just build it up from there. For me, that's the fastest way of trying to get things done. And the next step right now is for me to just give some fine-tunings to the songs. After that's done, then it's my responsibility as well to direct the bands by prepping the separated tracks for them to listen to have kind of like give a reference of what we want the instruments to play. I have to do this from Brunei and that's a challenge that we have to go through, but hopefully with everything that's going on right now, we can manage to pull through. So let's get this done. I'm currently working on an intro track because in the context of a live performance in festivals, usually artists do sometimes decide to create an intro track for their set. It gives everybody some time to warm up and to have the crowd to warm up as well. So I'm working on that right now. We're pretty much almost done, just doing some tweaks and changes after getting feedback from the artist. I'm just gonna do that right now. We ran through some changes and some versions for this intro track, so the sessions are pretty messy and everything with a lot of samples and whatnot. I'm just gonna clean all of these and retrack and resequence these sounds to fit the updated feedback. And I've spent the entire morning just memorizing this session because one of the key responsibilities if you're the MD in this context, my job is to know the song in and out, every part, every moment, every transition, and to also play my instrument at the same time and to trigger the loops, trigger the backing tracks, trigger the clicks, everything. So a lot of multitasking. You just need to memorize the workflow, and because every set honestly is a different set of songs, especially if you're playing for different artists, so I just have to memorize the performance flow for this one. I'm bad at memorizing. I'll see you guys at rehearsal. Right? 2 bars going into second chorus, then the instrumental. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think too much already.
Sorry. Yeah. So, wait, actually, yeah, it's what you sang. I was like, it was.
Make it into a sub drop.
Whoa.
That would be patient.
Hi everyone, so this is the 12th of September. Our first practice was yesterday. Everything went really well. Of course, the obvious bumps here and there. We're just figuring out the arrangements and just going through certain parts of the songs and to just create new ideas, because it might sound great in the session for the ideas at least, but then it might not translate well in a live setting. So we kind of changed up some things here and there to make it more impactful. Today is a rest day, but I'm taking the opportunity to clean up the backing track session. New files just came in, so I'm gonna be fixing up those files and importing them to Ableton Live. So I just finished arranging and cleaning up the stems for the final song and just finished loading everything into the Ableton backing track session. So as you can see right over there, quite a number of tracks, but it only looks complicated. Hopefully everything goes well. The only thing I need to do is to just click play for every scene and it should go according to plan. Should go. So gonna rehearse this set now. So over here I technically have the thing I need. The cool thing about this keyboard is that it integrates immediately to my Ableton session. I don't really have to manually assign button. The left is to practice. The thing with Ableton sessions is when you're MDing or you're just preparing the backing tracks, there's no right or wrong. Everybody has a different workflow, so you just have to commit to a workflow that you're used to. I just need to get used to this one. Hi everyone, it's 12 AM and I just got back from the final rehearsal for this weekend. It was a last minute decision because of the time changes and everything. Everything is done. We'll need to make some minor changes to the session, just balance everything out and also pre-prep the channels because previously we had 40 minutes to sound check, but because of this whole fiasco, we now only have 20 minutes to set up. Quite a number of things to set up: backing tracks, kick tracks, IEMs, drums. Our game plan for tomorrow is to set up as much as we can next to the stage so that when it's our turn to soundcheck, we're just gonna Wingardium Leviosa everything up. onto the stage. Hopefully that works, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm not too positive about it. Mentally prepared for it to just get really chaotic. Right now, just rest up and get ready for tomorrow. Hello guys, good morning. It is now the day of the festival. Our first sound check is earlier today. We're gonna be in and out. It's a bit complicated, but I hope you guys can stick around. But last night or this morning, I slept at like 3 or 4 or something because of this thing. This is the Audien Evo 8. It's a new interface that I just got this week. I'm still new to it. It's a bit complicated to use. I just spent the entire night morning to try figure out the routing for the show using this thing, but I managed to do that. It took longer than I thought. I got some cute labels here, just so I know where goes where. Guess I'll see you guys at soundcheck. Behold this complete mess. Most of this stuff is already in the car, but these are most of the electronics, basically the most important component of my setup. I'm gonna just pack this up and get ready to leave. So we're at the venue right now. I'm gonna be using this table to set up all my cablings and my station as much as I can, so that once we go up on stage, it's gonna lift this up on stage, and I'm practically like 50-60% done with my setup. So yeah, let's get this. We're at the green room right now, waiting room. Everything is behind schedule, and I think we're gonna be only coming up. I'm not sure when, because it just started raining. I'm not sure how long this will take. Just gonna wait it out, I guess. Since we're already here, there's nothing much that we can do. But yeah. At this point, it'll be the last time you will see us all smiling. Brace yourselves. Alright, where do I start? There's quite a lot to unpack regarding the timeline of what happened, both outside and inside our IEMs. I guess what I can start with was the prep time. We were actually lucky with our slot because before us was a dance performance that was going on off stage, and after that it was the call to prayer. So we kinda had approximately an hour to set up and get ready. The band actually set up pretty fast, but the issue came from the sound crew for that night. Disclaimer, I'm here just stating the facts and just sharing what happened to us, and hopefully with this you have a better understanding of what musicians potentially may face when you're in this circuit. And to those non-musicians, hopefully this can give you a better insight on the values of the things that we do day in and day out. Let's continue. Number 2, our IEMs had no sound. So the things that we needed in our IEMs in this context were the instruments, the vocals, my talkback mic, the backing tracks, and the clicks and the cues. TLDR, at some point or another, we couldn't hear anything in our in-ears. Sometimes things do pop up randomly, but randomly as well, things just disappear from our in-ears. And at some points, it just disappears completely. We couldn't hear anything in our in-ears. Mind you, these issues didn't come up consecutively. In that 1 hour of prep time, these issues kind of played a game of tag on who comes up next, and they couldn't resolve the issue at all. Yeah, we did sound check earlier on that day and somewhat things were salvageable, but it's as if we never did any sound check at all. At some point in the midst of pointing out the lack of sound from my side, I was kind of blamed for the issues, saying that the issues were from my setup. But then again, number 1, it was the same setup during our sound check when things were somehow workable, and number 2, everybody were facing the same issues with their IEMs as well. In the end, we somehow managed to get sound in our ears, but that's not the end of it. Number 3, for that full hour, they couldn't get the guitar to come out in our in-ears as well as the house. We were almost told to start regardless because of time, but it's kind of ridiculous at this point. Somehow they managed to resolve the issue, but then again, that's not the end of it. After an agonizing 1 hour, we finally kicked off our stage. Then more disaster struck. Number 4, the backing tracks weren't coming out of the house and we couldn't hear them in our in-ears. The issues with our IEMs during setup came back again. All of us weren't hearing anything that we needed to hear. It was a mix of no backing tracks, no clicks, no cues, nothing whatsoever. You kinda get things popping up once in a while, but you get the idea. Though, for almost the entire set, the audience couldn't hear our backing tracks. So for the most part, the audience were listening to this jarring avant-garde musical presentation of vocals, non-harmonic guitar lines, and just the drums. With your love, up to the sky I know it's been on your mind. It's a whole lot of work for us to realize. Everybody wants to know, saying things like, baby, we don't know. Number 5, my bass had no sound. During the setup, they managed to kind of get a sound out of it. But then when I first tried playing my bass during our set, all I got was this gut-wrenching silence as my body instinctively twitched at the absence of any response from my first pick of my bass strings. I had to resort to using my synth bass from my Ableton setup. Somehow that had sound, but it was very low in the mix. You can clearly see everybody's frustration here, especially with the thought that everything was somehow going well-ish, kinda in a sense, I don't know, during soundcheck and pre-show setup, only to be met with this situation. For a fact, something was clearly being tampered with leading up to our stage, and clearly, especially during the performance itself. It was pretty vexing. Everybody worked hard to prep for this show, getting the sound right, making sure that everything was enjoyable for us, and especially enjoyable for the audience as well. I do kind of understand that it was a pretty crazy week for everyone, with the storms and strong winds coming in and out, wrecking everything everyone worked hard for. But it is what it is, and this was what happened. I do want to give a shout out to everyone on stage. Regardless of what happened, everybody was very professional. We bit the bullet, we bit the entire clip, magazine, whatever, pushed on, carry on as much momentum as we could salvage, and made it a night. Though not a night that we wished for, but definitely a night. Massive shout out to everyone that supported the stage. You know it's bad when the audience noticed that something was off, but then regardless, thank you so much for even after the fact. The band kind of reflected on it. What's done is done. Everybody was kind of cool about it and kind of laughed it all out. Right now everybody's just focused on the next show and seeing how we ourselves can improve, work around and accommodate to certain limitations, and of course come up with ideas on how to make things more grand if the opportunity arises. All in the aim to share our music bigger and better. Not gonna end all this all sappy, ranty, or life lesson-y-ish, but my take for this one is to just push through, don't stop, and once it all stops, sit down, reflect, and just get good. I will see you guys next time. Just put our stuff in the car. We're heading back up to actually try to enjoy the festival. This is the Star. Do you have anything to say? It's okay, I'm gonna complain about everything in this vlog.
I think it was a good show, but there's a lot to learn from this.
Yeah.